Hey guys!
Hey guys!
We're back with another Walking Dead review, this time reviewing The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 4, titled Service. If you haven't seen it yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. This was a very interesting episode stylistically because it was a very quiet episode, speaking of the actual sound. Everybody but Negan basically talked very low and quietly, and Negan, of course, spoke very loudly. So the contrast there, I think, made for a very interesting tone throughout this episode. And I don't know, I liked the subdued tension. Like, it was very slow and methodically paced.
Like, there was just tension through the whole thing. Like, you couldn't relax during this episode at all.
And this was an episode of contrasts. At the very beginning of the episode, we saw Rick and Michonne sleeping back to back, very far apart, pretty much as far apart as they could get on the bed. And the last time we saw them sleeping together, they were all cozy, spooning. Yeah. So the contrast between those two images, I think, speaks great volumes.
Yeah, to like how they're processing this change.
Yeah, and Michonne, as far as where Rick is at, she's totally not okay with this Rick.
No, she's not. But by the end of the episode, she's kind of, well, near the end of the episode, when she's talking to Rick and helps him make the bed on the floor, she's willing to come around. Like, she's willing to try.
Yeah.
But then she found the mattresses, and I think all thoughts of trying went out of her head.
Yeah, because she just started weeping, and I think seeing that, okay, they took all this stuff, but then they just took it, not to actually use, but just so the Alexandrians wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
And I think that really got to her, and I think her and Rosita are going to be the beginning of the revolution. Yeah. Because this version of Rick, he's going to have to come around. It's going to take some people to convince him.
Yeah, he's scared.
Yeah. And the comic book Rick really wasn't. He was kind of plotting from the very beginning to fight back.
But, on the other hand, comic book Rick only had Glenn's death. That was it. This Rick had Abraham's death, Glenn's death, and then he almost had to cut off Carl's arm. That's a lot more emotionally. He is broken, much more so than he was in the comics.
Absolutely, for sure. Okay, I want to talk about Dwight in this episode for just a moment. They spent the entire episode, basically, last week, trying to generate some kind of sympathy for Dwight, and they totally pissed it all away in this episode. Not when he took the guns, because he took the guns because they were going to take all the guns.
Yes.
Negan planned from the very beginning to take all the guns, and that was just part of it. What really got it was when he dumped out the water.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, oh, I don't really get why you would write that into it when you just tried to generate sympathy for him last week.
Yeah.
I think adding that was a mistake because I was starting to come around to Dwight a little bit, and now I'm not again.
Yeah, like, I feel like they shouldn't have had him taunting Rosita.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have taken her hat. He shouldn't have dumped out the water. It's
just the way he would say her name, Rosita, like he really punched it when he would say it, almost snarling it.
Yeah. It ruined all the sympathy generated last episode. Like, we don't give a crap about Dwight anymore.
Yeah. Also in this episode, Michonne at the very beginning took a rifle that was off the books. It was a rifle that they took from some of the saviors that they killed, and she was practicing her marksmanship. And we're like, oh, they're gonna work her around to where she can be like the replacement for Andrea.
Yeah.
When it seemed like, as far as like the marksmanship and the sniping, that was going to be Sasha, who was completely absent from this episode. She wasn't in it, so she might be at the hilltop with Maggie. But it seemed like, oh, okay, maybe Michonne's going to be the marksman for the group, and that'll be really cool. That way she'll get 2 of Andrea's plot lines from the comic.
Yeah.
But then Rick made her give the gun over.
Yeah.
And so now they have no guns off the books or on left at Alexandria.
Yeah, and I think that he made her give I think that they wrote in him making her give over the gun, just to prove how broken he is. Like, as if you couldn't already tell during the episode, they wrote that in. That was a gun Negan never would have known about. And they wrote that in just to kind of, punch it home how broken Rick is right now and how scared of Negan he is right now.
Also, because they took all the guns away from Alexandria, it totally negates the chance that awesome scene from the comic book will ever happen with Carl.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen, which is super disappointing, because it was one of the best scenes from the lead up to All Out War.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned Maggie, and there's a scene where Negan asks about her, and they're like, yeah, she didn't make it. And they show him her grave, and he's like, oh, that's a shame. And he talks about how widows have a little something extra to add, and we're like, yeah, Maggie's not dead. First of all, it was obvious that she's not dead because there's no way they kill her off screen.
Yeah.
So right there, we're like, oh, she's probably at the hilltop.
Yeah, and we knew, like, they were doing that to protect her from Negan.
Yeah.
I think they knew how raw she was, and they wanted a plausible plan in case he asked, because he did have Father Gabriel dig a grave and then bury it again so that it looked like they had just dug her grave.
Yeah.
So this was thought out well before they knew if he would ever ask about her.
Yeah. And they're making a huge assumption that Negan is just not going to go to Hilltop and look around, because Maggie's hiding out there. If Negan does go there and looks around, he's going to find her and know they lied.
Yeah.
So they're really rolling the dice with this. And moving on to Daryl, Rick asks Negan if Daryl can stay. Negan says, let's see if Daryl can, convince me, and Daryl doesn't say anything. And I don't think it's because Daryl's broken.
No. I think it's because he's stubborn.
I think it's because he, on some level, believes he deserves to be punishment.
Yeah, that
deserve
too.
to be punished, and being Negan's prisoner is his penance.
Yeah.
And
Daryl's just not the type to beg. Regardless, even if he didn't feel like he needed to be punished, he wouldn't beg for his freedom.
Right. And the very last shot was Rosita going to Eugene and asking him to make her a bullet. So she's going to have one gun with one bullet. But I guess you got to start somewhere.
Yes. But I think she has a specific plan for that one bullet. I don't really think she plans on building a revolution to go against Negan. I think there's one particular person she wants to kill, and I think it's Dwight. I think she is going to just go right to Dwight, and that's what that one bullet's for.
You don't think it's for Negan?
I don't know. The bullet's either for Dwight or Negan, but my money's on Dwight. I think she's going to go after Dwight.
And she was super pissed when she found out that Spencer had been hoarding guns.
Yeah, because he tried to stop her from getting the gun from the walker.
Yeah. And she's like, why didn't you tell me you had guns? I went out there specifically to get this gun with no ammo in it. You asshole. Oh, Spencer. That guy needs to die.
Yes, like now.
He's been hoarding food and booze and guns. I mean, to me, that's exile worthy. I think I would kick him out if I was Rick.
Yeah, especially food when they don't have that much food. They are desperately low on food. So, yeah, I definitely think he needs to be exiled, or he just needs to die.
Yeah. I would have given him the boot after that.
Yeah. Rick was nice in not giving him the boot immediately, because I would have been like, all right, see ya, you're gone.
Peace out, asshole. All right, there's actually a lot in this episode, so I'm sure we didn't talk about all of it. So if you have anything to add, let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this review, please tell us by dropping a like on it and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.